Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Rotary Central, for more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. Fidelity Bank, for all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you. And Roper's Janitorial, complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Coming to you live from Radio Cayman Studio.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Hear from your government officials, independents, and the opposition on issues that matter to you. For the record. Engage in an open dialogue between residents and lawmakers.
For the record.
For the record. For the record. Informative, impartial, insightful.
This is your talk show.
1-800-534-8255. Your calls, your input. This is For the Record. And now, your host, Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome to For the Record. Today is Friday, the 9th day of August 2019. I trust that everyone had restful, peaceful, enjoyable evening or night, that you're all raring to go today. For those of you who are on the roads of the Cayman Islands, whether you be a pedestrian, whether you be a bicyclist operating a motorcycle or any other type of motorized vehicle on the roads of the Cayman Islands, if you're doing any of those activities, we urge you to be extremely, extremely cautious. Please observe the rules of the road and always remember that the life you save may be your own. For those of you who are celebrating birthdays today, we want to wish you a happy birthday. If you celebrated one in the past few days, a belated happy birthday. And those of you who may be celebrating one this coming weekend, in advance of that, we want to wish you happy birthday as well. And we urge you that whatever you do in terms of celebration, that you do it in moderation. For those of you who have lost loved ones, again, we extend our sincere condolences to you, and we trust that your faith will help to carry you through these very challenging times as well. And folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and by extension For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, whether it be an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. Of course, For the Record is a show produced by the staff and management of Radio Cayman, and it is geared towards keeping you abreast of issues as they arise and play out on the local, regional, and international scene. I am your host, Orrett Connor, and you're welcome to join me every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 7:30 a.m. until 10 a.m. Our phone lines are always open, and there is always someone there waiting to take your calls. This morning, it is that radio voice of Mr. Paul Akal. You can call us on our toll-free number provided courtesy of Flow. That toll-free number is 1-800-534-8255. You can also call us on 949-8037 and 949-6990. If you don't like to talk on the telephone, then email us at For the Record. That is one word, For the Record, at candw.ky. WhatsApp us on 925-3261, where you can leave us a text message or send us a voice note. And we will play the contents of those during the course of the show as well. And then you can also follow us on YouTube simply by subscribing to Radio Cayman live stream. And speaking about phone lines being open, I'm already told that we have one call. I just want to say to you that we will not be having anyone from the official opposition with us this morning, but on short notice, I have contacted Dr. Steve McFeel, and he's going to come into the studio at some point in time, probably get here after the 8 o'clock news, if not before, and we will have discussions. Many things happening in the Cayman Islands, some headline news. I see where the printed version of the Caymanian Compass has as it headline environmental study plan for port design, and then when you go online, you see the news of two Cayman Islands Football Association executives or former executives being charged with particular offenses. I want to talk about the timing of that. In terms of the timing of that announcement, to me, couldn't come at a worse time, where we see the president of FIFA and another official visiting the Cayman Islands today as well. I'm not sure whether or not the timing of that, if it was deliberate or simply accidental, but we will talk about that as well, and we may even want to hear your comments and your feedback in relation to that announcement and the fact that FIFA president is coming here to look at what's being done in terms of football, and I think a statement that was made attributed to one Cayman Islands Football Association official here that they expected funding to resume fairly soon for the Football Association here. Whether or not now this will affect that is another story. So we can talk about that as well. So let's hear what the first caller has to say this morning. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
Not too bad, man. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. You're smart. You know, be the first one to call in, and you normally get a little bit more time.
Get in before the rush starts.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, see why I called him about. I hear that the Water Authority announcing that they're going to be doing road works on Spot Street, as we get to Shamrock Road, but it's Spot Street.
Mm-hmm.
And it's right. You know, they just repaved that most of Spot Street, and some sections were really, really bad.
Right.
Really,
yes.
And they just repaved it, and now I presume that they're going to be digging up the road, because they're going to lock off one whole lane, and to be doing works. And I wonder.
Did they say what? Did they say what area of Spot Street that it would be?
Between the Tomlinson roundabout and Poindexter Road. That's our road, that goes off there.
Yes.
Just opposite of where Mariners Cove used to be.
Yes, that's correct.
And I always wonder, why does the Water Authority always do that? They wait until a road is paved, and then they come and dig it up, and they never fix it back properly. As a matter of fact, once you cut a new paved road, you can never really fix it back, to how it was. Mm-hmm. And I mean, why couldn't they have done what they needed to do before the paving was done? And then, once the road is paved, it's paved.
Agreed, yep.
And they always do that. And I know, like up in Buntown there, central Buntown there, where they did the same thing. And, over the year, because what happened, the piece that they dig up always settles, and breaks away. And right now we have that issue where the road is almost, when you're driving on it, you feel like you're leaning on one side,
Precisely.
And I was wondering, why can't they coordinate with the NRA or whoever it is, and where we're going to be? They know they're going to be doing this stretch of road or paving this stretch of road. If you need to do any works or whatever, do it before, and get everything in place so that when the road is paved, it's paved. You don't have to go and dig up again.
I agree. I agree with you.
I hope people from the authority listening that they can try, because they always do this. And like I said, the road is never fixed back the way it is, and the deterioration, once you cut the road, and the deterioration starts. It took so long to get that piece of road paved. Now they're coming and digging it up, and God knows, how they'll fix it back. But anyway.
And before you go, caller, one of the reasons why we had to repair certain sections of Spot Street, especially when you cross the small cemetery and the public beach up there. Remember, at one point in time, they were trying to create two lanes going in one direction, and for some reason they had painted the yellow lines in a particular section, and when they wanted to increase those 2 lanes, they tried to wipe out those lines that were there. Unfortunately, some smart individual decided that they would use some sort of milling machine to try to remove the paint and damage the road. Otherwise, that most of the portion of that road would have still been good.
Good, right? Yeah, I remember that. The lines.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I don't know those. Yeah,
well,
I don't know.
I'll be talking some more about traffic situations. I see where now it has also been announced that there will be a temporary stoplight that will be placed at the Grand Harbor roundabout, coming for traffic coming from the South Sound area as well. I'll mention that and talk a little bit about that also.
Yes, I just caught the tail end of that, about this traffic light, but I didn't hear exactly where it was going to be placed.
Okay.
It is at Grand Harbor?
Yes, coming from South Sound. I will read the notification or the article that is gone out on it. I think it's an excellent idea, even though it's temporary, because it seems as if there may be some additional plans for the Grand Harbor roundabout as well. Okay, thanks very much. We have another caller on hold. We need to take a commercial break first. When we return, we will take that caller's call. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
The Cayman Islands boasts of a long, colorful, and rich history. In tribute to our roots, Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands, is pleased to bring you the Historical Vignette Series, sponsored by Cayman National Bank. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs. The Cayman Islands, he hath founded it upon the seas.
Immigration laws have long been prevalent through modern Caymanian history, stemming as far back as 1916 when laws were enacted to prevent entry into the islands by non-Caymanian paupers. In 1934, during the Great Depression, a more detailed regulation and immigration law passed, which also gave the first legal definition of a Caymanian. As the islands became home to increased numbers of foreign workers, the Aliens Law of 1961 came into place, which implemented the permit process for those wishing to remain on island. This was followed by the Caymanian Protection Law of 1971, which sought to protect the interests of Caymanians and the integrity of Caymanian way of life. This was followed by the Caymanian Protection Law of 1971, which sought to protect the interests of Caymanians and the integrity of the Caymanian way of life. In 1971 saw the appointment of a chief immigration officer, creation of a protection board, and establishment of appeals procedures. The law was reformulated in 1984, rewritten in 1992. The 1971 law saw the appointment of a chief immigration officer, the creation of a protection board, and the establishment of an appeals process. The law was reformulated in 1984, rewritten in 1992, and has undergone numerous revisions since then.
Radio Cayman's Historical Facts Vignettes are proudly brought to you by Cayman National, with branches on all 3 Cayman Islands. Visit Cayman National Bank today for all of your financial needs.
$540 months.
16,425 days.
394,200 hours.
45 years.
That's how long we've been committed to serving you, and we won't stop there. Over the years, we have proudly grown with Cayman, making a difference in the community. That's why we're here, to stand by you.
We are Cayman National.
And we thank you for standing by us for 45 years and counting.
Have you seen the latest? Cayman has been ranked the most expensive place to live. It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers. Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511. Email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511. Ropers Janitorial also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511.
It was a day that changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
Gym tonight?
I have another test today.
Wow, for somebody who isn't in school, you've had a lot of tests this week.
Well, Vamp Motors is giving out fresh baked cookies to customers who test drive SUVs this month. And since I haven't decided what to buy, I'm just test driving each one to see what I like best.
You better test drive that to the gym and back, especially with all those free cookies you're getting from Vamp.
Take a test drive for a sweet surprise this August at Vamp Motors. Test drive any SUV and receive a freshly baked cookie. It's our way of saying thanks for dropping by to check out our huge sale on every SUV in stock. Save up to $4,400 during Vamp's summer SUV sale. Now through the end of August. That's every SUV in stock on sale. Save up to $4,400 or put the savings towards upgrading your vehicle. Sweeten the deal with Vamp Motors, Walkers Road.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
This is Caitlin Tyson, your reigning Miss Cayman Islands Universe, here to encourage you all to attend this year's pageant on Saturday, August 17th at the Ritz-Carlton Resort. It's going to be an amazing event. Tickets are on sale now at Sand Angels in Camana Bay and Funky Tangs in Georgetown. There's limited seating, so be sure to get yours soon. Thanks to our corporate sponsors, the Ministry and Department of Tourism, Cayman Airways, Hurley's Media, and Radio Cayman.
System 1 loaded. 1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. We expect to have Dr. Steve Macfield with us later on in the show. Again, want to thank him for his speedy response on such a short notification as well. For the benefit of our listening audience, and in particular the first caller this morning, I think the other caller that we had on hold hung up, but we want to welcome that caller to call back maybe after the 8 o'clock news, because we have about another 6-7 minutes before we go to our 8 o'clock news. Caymanian Compass, and this is written by a staff writer, signal to ease Grand Harbor traffic. And it says that new traffic lights are being erected at the South Sound Road entrance to the Grand Harbor roundabout to help ease congestion. The National Roads Authority is installing a new traffic signal in South Sound Road in an effort to ease traffic on Crew Road and Linford-Pearson Highway during evening rush hours. The signal is expected to begin operating on the 19th of August. That's 19th of August, and I'm assuming this year, 19th of August, 2019. In a news release, the agency said the traffic feeding into Grand Harbor roundabout from South Sound is partially responsible for the lengthy backups that occur on Crew Road, which sometimes also stretch to most of the length of Linford-Pearson Highway. Motorists traveling east from single-lane South Sound Road onto the roundabout have priority over motorists using the two eastbound travel lanes on Crew Road, the release said. This forces them to give way to the right, creating traffic queues extending back into Linford-Pearson Highway. The new signal will be set back from the roundabout. So it won't be right at the roundabout, but it'll have a setback. And if any of you have been driving from South Sound, you will see a new column and a new pole that has been erected there as well. It goes on to say that a painted stop bar on the road will indicate where cars are required to stop and wait until the red light turns amber, allowing cars to move to the roundabout limit, where they will still have to yield to traffic coming from the right. The light will cycle every 10 to 12 seconds. So it will be a light that will be on a cycle for every 10 to 12 seconds. The traffic meter is going to allow gaps in the eastbound evening peak traffic flow on South Sound Road that will in turn cause eastbound traffic on the main artery to flow through Grand Harbor roundabout much faster, said NRA Acting Managing Director Ed Howard. Signal will only operate during peak traffic times, Monday through Friday, typically between 4:30 and 6:30 p.m., and it also goes on to indicate that a 2018 study found that an average of 4,821 cars were used the roundabout during this time period. And goes on to say that the new signal pole on South Sound Road would also soon feature the installation of the first set of electronic vehicle registration detection devices designed to read the new registration stickers and plates as well. And I'll just add to that and say hopefully that signal or that reader there, maybe they want to have some sort of a traffic camera because, on the lawless roads of the Cayman Islands, people are going to breach whatever regulations you have in place and try to sneak through as well. So hopefully they will have a camera there that will pick up those persons who are in breach of that and issue them with a ticket, charge them, let them pay for it as well. We have one caller. Let's see if we can accommodate that caller before 8 o'clock. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning. How you doing?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you, sir?
Not too bad. I just want to make a comment on. I think it was either Tuesday. Correct me if I'm wrong. That Mr. Harris was on the talk show, and he had two other gentlemen on there with him.
Mr. Harris was on my show or another show. I think he was on on Talk Today.
Yeah. Not your show. I think
yes.
It was Talk. Yeah, for the show it was Talk Today.
Mm-hmm.
There was two gentlemen on there. Like I say, one was an elderly gentleman. He did say his age and everything. He was 65. I can't remember the name, but I think the other gentleman was Paul from West Bay.
Okay, I believe that there were two individuals who operate in the in the tourism industry. Operators, yes.
Anyway, the elderly gentleman passed a remark, I would say. He said how he put it was that we have everything that everybody wants.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've been trying to gas that, around my little brains I got to come up with, something that, makes sense of what the comment that he made by that. But, for hell's sake, I can't. So I don't know if you can help me with this. I'll tell you what my observation on it, what I think he meant is that I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's the way he said it is exactly the way I took it. That we have everything everybody wants. Does he mean by that we should give everybody that comes to this country everything they want? I mean, help me with this.
Well, I can't speak for the individual, but I can say that if I were to phrase that statement that we have everything that everyone wants, what I would be saying is that basically people are attracted to us here because we have everything that everyone wants. We have, I guess it would be a utopia of sorts, that everything that you want we have it here in the Cayman Islands. That is why we're attractive for people. That's why people want to come here.
Yeah,
if I were phrasing it, that's the way that I would mean it.
That's fair enough, O.C., but you realize, you know as well as I do that cannot happen. We cannot give, we're a small country, we cannot give everybody everything they want. We can't make everybody happy at the end of the day.
Precisely.
You know what helps a lot? Money has a lot to say. Money has a lot of power. Money can buy a lot of things. So, I mean, you know, we just cannot give everybody. So I was kind of taken by, you know, when he made that remark that, you know, this is what we have, and, you know, it's like we should give everybody everything they want. It doesn't work like that. You have to think about the country first and the people of the country. That is your first priority.
Okay. And maybe hopefully that caller, that person may be listening in, and we certainly would welcome them to give an explanation. Call in and give an explanation if so please. Caller, I have to interrupt you there, though, because we reached 8 o'clock. News, folks, please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back immediately after the 8 o'clock news.
Radio Cayman time check is now 8 a.m. This time check is brought to you by our friends at Price Right. Live better for less.
Price Right is Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore, making your dollar go further with huge savings and no membership fees. Get more of the things you use every day at the right price. But it's not just grocery and health and beauty. Price Right has a full range of products from office to automotive, patio furnishings to kitchen appliances, and even electronics. And since warehouse prices mean savings for you, everything is priced right at Priced Right, Grand Cayman's warehouse shopping superstore.
The voice of the Cayman Islands.
89.9 FM in Grand Cayman and 93.9 FM in Cayman Brac and Little Cayman.
Silver wings shining in the sunlight.
Radio Cayman.
Your community. News and information. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
With your latest news, I'm Carsley Fuller. Butterfield announces a new security standard for customers who want to shop online. Radio Cayman's April Cummings has more.
Butterfield says EMV 3D Secure 2.0 is its new standard designed to protect customers who use their credit and debit cards for online purchases. The technology was developed by a group representing EuroPay, MasterCard, and Visa as a new way to validate card transactions to decrease the incidence of fraud and false declines while making transactions more straightforward for customers. Butterfield says EMV 3D Secure uses sophisticated logic to authenticate online transactions and, in practice, automatically checks and clears more than 95% of transactions using, quote, stringent dynamic criteria. When an online transaction can't be fully authenticated in the background, the company says a box will appear on the customer's screen, whether it's a PC, phone, or tablet, and ask them to call in to authenticate the purchase. Peter Jackson is Butterfield's Group Head of Card Services, and he says EMV 3D Secure is an innovative fraud prevention solution, one that makes things more secure and more convenient for customers. He called it the latest in a series of upgrades to card products introduced over the past few years, including chip and PIN technology and contactless payment on select products. April Cummings, Radio Cayman News.
And with a little help from Brit K Insurance, a new initiative has been launched for families who have sick children being evacuated to seek urgent medical care overseas. Designed by Rich and Maya Lewis, evacuation kits will be provided to the parents and guardians of evacuees in order to provide practical help and support in their time of need.
I designed the kits as a result of our experience being evacuated to Miami with our son. We were evacuated in January from Georgetown Hospital as he was diagnosed with quite serious genetic disorder. Our son sadly passed away just over a week later, and in the immediate aftermath, I really wanted to do something positive in the wake of our loss and do something to commemorate his life and keep his legacy going.
That's when they decided to create the kits, which contain some basic essentials as well as a packing list and a handwritten letter of support from the founders. Mr. Lewis says it's a way to let families know they're not alone and to stay strong. The packs will be available to all families of babies and children facing evacuations from Cayman Islands Hospital's neonatal intensive care unit and pediatric unit from August, regardless of insurer. Now with a check of international news, here's the BBC, which will take us out of the newscast. I'm Karsley Fuller from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
BBC News with Jerry Smith. Malaysia has filed criminal charges against 17 current and former executives from the U.S. banking group Goldman Sachs, accused of involvement in a multi-billion-dollar corruption scandal. Goldman Sachs said it would vigorously defend itself against the charges. The scandal, involving the Malaysian sovereign fund 1MDB, has triggered investigations in at least 6 countries. Stringent security measures are in force in Indian-administered Kashmir as its Muslim-majority population hold Friday prayers. Officials ease some restrictions to allow people to pray. Some have been able to go to smaller mosques, but the main mosque in Srinagar is closed. Thousands of pro-democracy activists are staging a peaceful rally at Hong Kong's international airport as the territory's leader warned that their campaign was hitting the economy like a tsunami. The protesters are sitting in the airport's arrivals hall, handing out leaflets to travellers explaining their campaign. Aid workers say US sanctions on Iran are making it impossible to send funds via the banking system to support their humanitarian work in the country. The Norwegian Refugee Council says that because foreign banks fear violating the embargo, they refuse to route money that would help Afghan refugees in Iran. States in west and southwest India are suffering devastating flooding as torrential monsoon rains continue to fall. In Kerala, a major landslide in Munnar district has forced the evacuation of more than 20,000 people. A Canadian man who was abducted by militants in Syria last year has been released. Christian Lee Baxter had travelled to Syria in November but lost contact with his family. And that's the BBC News.
What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
The best back-to-school sale is now at Reflections. Buy one, get one half price on all back-to-school shoes. Over 100 styles of your favorite brands. Nike, Adidas, Puma, Reebok, and more. Back-to-school savings on shoes for toddlers, children, teens, and adults. Buy one pair, get the second pair half price. Or buy one pair of shoes and get a backpack half priced. The best back-to-school sale at Reflections. Now located on Shedden Road, across from Napa Auto Parts. Beside Mango Tree. Reflections.
The Breeze Fusion is back Saturday, November 2nd.
Bigger and better.
Now featuring a 5K walk run and a 10K run for half marathon trainers. Join the fun and help raise funds for the Central Scranton Park and the NCVO. Save the date or register now at CaymanActive.com or at Radio Cayman Studios. Registration is only $15 if registered by September 30th. And all early registrants enter to win a Cayman Airways voucher.
The Breeze Fusion 5K, 10K walk run.
Saturday, November 2nd.
The Weather Report is proudly sponsored by Super Stitch Sewing and Fabric Center, your one-stop household store at 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best prices in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky. New stock has just arrived at Super Stitch. Now don't take my word for it. Drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Super Stitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Super Stitch, 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
Good morning, Cayman. Once again, let's take a look at your latest weather. All compliments of Super Stitch. Present temperature 87.62 degrees Fahrenheit. Today's highs are expected to reach 90 degrees Fahrenheit. Winds are out of the southeast at 5 knots with gusts up to 30 knots. Barometric pressure is at 1015.6. Relative humidity at 69.2%. Synopsis: an upper-level trough is expected to continue to support some showers and thunder across the Cayman area over the next 24 hours. Forecast for today: partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 40% chance of showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will rise to the low 90s. Winds will be east to northeast at 5 to 10 knots. Seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. Later on tonight, partly cloudy skies with cloudy spells and a 30% chance of showers and possible thunder. Temperatures will fall to the upper 70s. Winds will be east to southeast at 5 to 10 knots, and seas will be slight to moderate with wave heights of 2 to 4 feet. We're at a high tide. Low tide is at 12:07 this afternoon. High again at 6:56 this evening. For tomorrow, low tide is at 1:07 a.m., high at 6:24 a.m., low at 1:01 p.m., and high at 7:41 p.m. Sunset this Friday evening is at 6:56. Sunrise for Saturday morning at 6:05. And the outlook is for similar weather conditions through Sunday morning. That's your latest weather, brought to you by Superstitch.
Superstitch Sewing and Fabric Center was the proud sponsor of the Weather Report. Your one-stop shop for all of your household items, craft items, jewelry, beads, and decorations, and much more. Call Superstitch at 949-2833 or email customer care at superstitch.com.ky. New stock has just arrived at Superstitch. Now don't take my word for it. Drop by and see for yourself. Fresh off the boat, we have loads of fabric, vinyl upholstery fabric, fabric for cushions, outdoor fabrics, and dress fabric. That's not all. Superstitch has sewing accessories and craft items. Included in the new shipment, you will find sheets, comforters, throw pillows, bath mats, rugs, and curtains for every room in your home. Superstitch, 39 Pasador Place, Smith Road. Still offering the best price in town. Call 949-2833 or go to superstitch.com.ky.
From happy beginnings to happy ever after,
Brit K protects your lifestyle with the best insurance cover at the best possible price.
Health insurance with far-reaching benefits.
95% of claims settled in 5 days.
Low-cost life insurance.
And investments.
Security in retirement.
With a custodian pension plan.
For happy beginnings and a happy ever after,
visit BritK.ky or call 949-8699.
BritK, where people come first.
Always ensure that food preparation utensils are washed with a strong detergent and rinsed in hot water in the event that they have made contact with flood water. Boil silverware for 10 minutes and immerse glass, porcelain, china, and plastic items in a solution of hot water and 10% chlorine bleach before use. For more post-hurricane food safety tips, visit DEH website at deh.gov.ky.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Good morning, Cayman. Let's take a look at your traffic conditions coming out of the east, getting closer to Georgetown, of course. If you're traversing along Shamrock Road, heading on to Crew Road and Linford Pearson Highway, yes, you get a good movement of traffic as you go along the way. Of course, nearing the roundabout, if you're turning onto Agnes Way, you'll experience some slow-moving traffic similar to Crew Road in that vicinity as you either turn on to Crew Road heading on to Shed Road and on to the airport, or on to Shed Road further up, crossing North Sound Road. You'll experience some traffic there. Similar with Huldah Avenue, slow-moving traffic heading in a northern direction as you either turn on to Elgin Avenue or onto North Sound Road. Of course, traffic coming off the S.L.A. Tibbetts Highway is a good movement of traffic coming out of West Bay. And streets in Georgetown, looking at Godfrey Nixon Way, Eastern Avenue, getting very much busy at the moment. Slow-moving traffic as you make your way to Georgetown. Of course, it's a little bit frustrating, but you'll get there. Traffic report brought to you by our friends at Subway.
In Italy, to live is to eat. That's why Subway's introduced the new ciabatta collection. 3 delicious new sandwich flavors on the most famous Italian ciabatta bread. Choose from the chicken pesto, garlic steak and provolone, or the classic Italian with ingredients like salami, spinach, fresh mozzarella, tomatoes, onions, banana peppers, and balsamic sub sauce. All on freshly baked ciabatta bread with its light but crispy outer shell and distinct flavor. Ciabatta, try it. Only at Subway. For a limited time. time. Subway, eat fresh.
The traffic report is brought to you by Subway. Planning a meeting, event, or office celebration? Visit subway.ky to place your catering order today.
Steve Higgins Productions, in association with the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens,
the Cayman Islands Cancer Society,
and the De Silva Family Trust presents
Music of the Hearts, a fantastic evening of excellent music presented by Delia Winter,
April Marr,
and Steve Higgins at the Marriott Beach Resort, 7 Mile Beach, Sunday, September 1st, 2019 at 6 p.m. Sponsored by
Harney's,
Applebee,
SMP,
NCB Capital Markets,
Jamaica Tourist Board,
and Radio Cayman. Tickets $25.
Available at Funky Tanks,
Super Stitch, or any member of the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens, or call
925-9134.
That's 925-9134. Proceeds will go towards the Cayman Islands Cancer Society and the Lions Club of Tropical Gardens. That's Steve Higgins and Friends in Music of the Heart. Sunday, September 1st at the Marriott Beach Resort. Don't miss it!
Hello, I'm Joseph Woods, the Acting Port Director. Our port facility is the hub of the Cayman Islands commerce and economic activity, handling $658 million in imported goods annually. From groceries to construction materials, all sectors of our economy depend on the port. But it is now 40 years old. Its infrastructure is degrading, and we feel the strain from insufficient space for both cargo and cruise operations. The time is now. A new expanded port facility is needed to allow both cargo and cruise to operate efficiently and to support our island's continued growth and development. Support the port, support our tourism, support Cayman's continued growth and development.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have no guests in the studio. I did announced the fact that Dr. Steve Macfield would be joining us, but his calendar does not allow for that either. He has realized that he has to be in court this morning, so he will be unable to join us because he won't have sufficient time to be here and to be in court as well. So it is just me along with my audience this morning, and it's not like we have a shortage of things to talk about, things to discuss, many things. I did mention the fact that the printed version of the Caymanian Compass, the headline in there has to do with the environmental study plan for the port design. And when you look at the online version of the Compass, the headline is Former Football Officials Watson Blake Charged. In addition to that, yesterday, the 8th of August, the Anti-Corruption Commission issued a statement, a press release in relation to it, and it's a statement in relation to charges, and that statement reads, on the 8th of August 2019, following a complex and protracted investigation, investigators from the Anti-Corruption Commission charged Mr. Bruce Blake and Mr. Canover Watson with the following. In regards to Mr. Bruce Blake, one count of secret commissions contrary to Section 21, subsection 1C of the Anti-Corruption Law 2008. 2 counts of acquiring or retention of criminal property, in bracket money laundering, contrary to Section 134, subsection 1 and Section 135 of the Proceeds of Crime Law 2018. And 2 counts of false accounting contrary to Section 255, subsection 1 of the Penal Code 2010 and 2013 revision in relation to Mr. Canover Watson. 2 counts of secret commissions contrary to Section 21, subsection 1C of the Anti-Corruption Law 2008 and 2014 revision. 3 counts of transferring or retention of criminal property, in bracket money laundering, contrary to Section 133 and Section 134, subsection 1 of the Proceeds of Crime Law 2008, and 2 counts of false accounting, contrary to Section 255, subsection 1 of the Penal Code 2010 and 2013 revision. Both persons have been further bailed to appear in summary court on the 20th of August 2019. And it goes on to say, as the matter is now before the courts, the Commission will not provide any further comment on this matter. And I said that I question the timing of this, whether or not it is merely by coincidence or whatever. The timing couldn't come at a worse time when we have officials from FIFA, president of FIFA, and another gentleman. I'll give you those names later on, who will be in the Cayman Islands, spending a few hours here in the Cayman Islands today. I believe we have a caller. Let's go to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, O.C. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm fine. How are you?
Good to see you the other night down.
Yeah, it was good to see you Saturday night. Yeah.
Yeah. I was reading, looking over Wednesday's paper, and it talked with this the Mr. Steve Broadbelt, who's a scuba diver up there in East End, and he had discovered this bundle of wheels and stuff from a train.
Mm-hmm.
And in his discourse, he said that he don't know where the wheels were coming from. I wouldn't know, nobody would know. But he said the one thing that caught my eye was where he said that Broadbelt said there were 13 wheel sets at the site. And says Cayman has never had a railroad, so he speculates that most of these will be going to Jamaica.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But if my memory serves me right, and I would call anybody who lives in West Bay that might remember this. I remember my grandfather had a big piece of land, about, I guess, a couple of 1,000 feet from the shoreline, where the seabirds, man o' wars, and these birds, the seabirds used to go down there, and they had, over the years, it was a roosting place for them, and they had accumulated, I guess, for thousands of years they were doing it, and they had all this guana. I don't know if you know what guana is. It's the gook that comes out from the birds.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's there, and it's a very, very good for plant food and stuff like that. They put it on plants because it's like a nutrient.
Yeah, like a phosphate.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that they had a railroad that went from that area out to the Iron Shore. And where the Iron Shore was, the water was very deep there, right against the thing. And they had this rail car that used to take this stuff out, and it was designed so that the rail car went right over the deck of the boat, and they could turn that up and dump the guano. It wasn't a big thing. It wasn't, but it was, and it would dump the stuff right into the hole of the boat.
There was something similar in Georgetown as well, I'm told, in relation to that, and the tracks. I don't know if I think they've been removed or destroyed now, but something similar as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I know we did have it, if you call it a railroad, but it was here in West Bay, and I got a feeling that they might have had something similar somewhere up in East End too. I don't know.
Now, caller, being a former merchant seaman as well, do you think that it may have, with so many wrecks in East End, that it may have anything to do with any ship that may have been wrecked up there that carried some sort of like a conveyor belt or something like that as well?
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. There's lots of possibilities. I mean, you can't discount anything because we don't know, have an idea what it is. But I know that the thing is that back in the day, they would see everybody, ships were traveling all over the Caribbean from different places, and we don't know what kind of cargo they had, and what might have happened in storms and stuff like that. So. But it was good to see you, and I hope you have a pleasant day. God bless you.
Thanks, and the same to you. Enjoy your weekend as well.
All right, man.
Okay, we have another caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Morning, O.C. Elvis. How you doing?
I'm good, Elvis. How are you?
Good, man. I hear you were reading from the newspaper about them guys there, but I read from the newspaper, too, where this Canadian cannabis company, and the Colorado, a company out of Colorado, look at the tiding with Canada too in Jamaica.
Yes.
That is the third company now that's supplying the oil for the medical marijuana to the Cayman Islands. Colorado, Canada, and Jamaica. And we got sunshine and rain more. But before I get too deep now, I want to congratulate Mr. Everett for his reply to my answer a couple of days ago. I appreciated that very much. At least we got one of the 19 that got their eyes open. There is a God. One of the 19 we counting down.
Yep.
And I can tell you one thing. We got a thing in Kimmerbrook. I got it going now. For 2021, no weed, no vote.
I heard that. Yeah. How's your petition? How's your petition going? How many signatures have you amassed so far?
Well, I got over 100 up here, and I got Notch and Grand Cayman. I got my grandson. I got Rambo. So we getting some signatures. The only thing that I got a problem trying to convince the people who see that it's not about me. Look here. I had a police record for Ghana time I 15 years old, and then I've been wiped away. I got carried out to the cross. But I talking about your head like what Mr. Everett said. See, you know this for yourself. You got hundreds of young little Caymanians that they won't get no job, but they will work. But they want the weed to smoke, and that's into them. They got this Rasta business thing, I got it in me. I grew up in the Bob Marley area, and it's not coming out. So instead of jailing them for it, I come work and make some money.
Okay.
Look here, I talk to a lot of young boys, right? I know on the street, OC, right?
Okay.
You understand? And they're just like me. Trust me. All they want to do something, and they can hustle the only thing and work and thing. But once we locking them up with a police record and OC, you're a big man. The world is smiling at Cayman now, that people coming from all over the world don't want you to come down to Cayman. We got them young Caymanians. All of them got drug record. All they want to do is smoke your onion, sit down on that tree. So you can get in the permit you want. You just come on in.
Okay.
And that's a sad story, but it's real. See, let me tell you something. It's something that we got to come to realize, You see, we got a beautiful 7 Mile Beach, Stingray, sitting all that.
Yep.
See, you know this for yourself. You get some people just to go around and look at how our imported workers. I got it. They call them guest workers. I not got them named that. I got it named overseas slaves. Because that's what we treating the people that. Look at the conditions where they live in. You think Cayman not gonna get up? When you go knock or see on a car window or one that park along the road to see if somebody's sleeping in it, then you don't kill them when you dumping it, and you don't hear nothing but that. Look here, we got to take our head out of the sun. Look at the bus is leaving us, and I don't know why we can't see it? Okay, look here. Just a couple of days ago, right? A little friend of mine, a young little Caymanian, just get catch with about 1,200 pounds of weed.
Yes, I read that. I read that. Yeah, they say he was from the Brack?
Yeah, from the Brack, yeah, but good little friend, but he looking a living.
Mm-hmm.
He looking a living, boy, and I wish he had get through. My birthday next month would been bringing, because the police come with mine. But anyhow.
But Elvis, for the benefit of the listening audience, so that people don't necessarily dismiss your proposal without understanding exactly what it is that you're seeking to accomplish. Can you point out what exactly it is that you're seeking to achieve? Again, a point by point for us.
Okay. Yeah, I want to track that part. Well, see, my thing I got to line out that we decriminalize marijuana for medicinal use.
Medicinal use, okay.
Right. That means that would have to be licensed through the government.
Mm-hmm. And dispensed through a licensed operator, yeah, okay.
Good, okay. Now for the recreational, for your own self, say like how Jamaica got it, you get 5 plants, 10 plants, and 1 ounce or 2 ounces for your person.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you get catch with more than that, but you've broken the law, you're in trouble. And about this thing, about 18 years old, see, you have to be 18 years old to drink liquor. So the same thing can be with the marijuana. But you notice, when something is legal, when something is legal, the children can get it if they crave it, if they want to go after it. And when it's illegal, for sure as hell they can get it easier. But you know that.
So what do you do about people if you allow people locally to have 3 or 4 plants? What do you do? Do you do anything in terms of people being able to bring in small quantities for their own personal use?
No.
That couldn't happen?
No.
Okay.
No. That's the real thing is trying to keep our little money into the island.
Okay.
No. If you get catch bringing in marijuana, you is in trouble. You're charged for importation, and it's illegal.
Okay.
This thing is for the Caymanian. And another thing that I want to preach it, like I see some states in the United States doing, because the Canadians been in. I come and tell you something. This what the politicians done. This what holding them done in Jamaica, They were sick of jailing the little man for the split because the gunshots tearing the place down. So they got to leave the split alone. But it wasn't even that they done it for, They know now that the millionaires is coming in and growing the ganja by the acres and acres. And they're making millions of dollars legal. So they had to look at the poor in Jamaica and say, look here, we can't jail them anymore. Unallowed 2 ounces, and I think it's 10 plants. And you know what they've done? They even done it for the tenement yard. So if you got 10 apartments and you got 5 people or 10 people want to go to Little Reed, each man, and the little yard can grow in 5 or 10 plants, whatever, right? But that's just to appease the poor populace. Even that's see that way we want. If you want the millionaires to come in, because they can do that anyhow. The people that got a big acreage in the millionaires, they can put down their grow house that costs $750,000 to build a grow house. Which foreman can do that? But at least stop jailing our people. Stop killing us, the young ones, with a criminal name. It's been the 21st century. Tell me which other nation in this world on God's green earth that a police can come to you sitting down, like everybody sitting down on that great tree now, and can come to you and say, Mr. Elvis, somebody told us that you were down the road smoking ganja before you were in test. And if you don't get a urine test, you still go in court and you could go to prison. Man, I went to prison for refusing urine test, Which you talk about human rights? Tell me which other country in the world that is doing that.
Yeah. Police time could probably be spent in a much more productive purpose.
got how to be standing much more productive. You don't see what happening to us now?
Okay, Elvis, I'm past my commercial break time, though, so I got to go. But what is important, and I know you keep calling about this, what is important is so that you can get people to understand, ensure that you clearly state what your intentions are so they don't misinterpret what you're trying to do. And I believe, with, clearer understanding by people, you will probably find, much more people agreeing with what you want to do. That's extremely important. So,
thank you for your time. And look, I got a lot of people that signed this. They got good jobs, business, and they never smoke marijuana in their life, and they have no intention of smoking it. But they see what it's doing to the young people, and I will see. Thank you very much for the time, sir.
Thank you. Take care, folks. We have to take a commercial break. When we return, phone lines will continue to remain open for you to call in, ask questions, express your views as well. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Sometimes things just don't go as planned. That's why you need Contractors All Risk Insurance from Fidelity Insurance Brokers. Ensure you're covered in the event of property damage and third-party injury or damage claims during your construction projects. And with Fidelity Insurance Brokers, you can be sure you are getting competitive pricing and superior customer service. Call us today for a free quote. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Have you ever felt that there is something bigger out there for you? Something more positive, something more powerful, something all good, something bigger than yourself? Do you want to give back to this community, your community? Together, Rotary Central, Rotary Sunrise, and the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman are hosting a membership meet and greet social Thursday, August 15th at Pepper's Restaurant, 5 to 7 p.m. Come along. Bring a friend. Find out what Rotary is all about, what Rotary is doing in your community. So, see you there, Thursday, August 15th at Pepper's Restaurant, 5 to 7 p.m. We're looking forward to meeting you. Rotary, connecting the world.
It was a day that changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
Hey, are those new glasses on Will?
Yeah, we went to Optical Outlook. Wham, bam, easy exam. Finally, an exam he could pass. And we had the glasses the next day. Easiest part of our back-to-school shopping for sure.
Book your child's eye exam today at Optical Outlook. Call 746-2020. Get half off a complete pair of glasses with any student's eye exam now until August 31st. Come see the difference with Optical Outlook, located in Caymanian Village.
Terms and conditions apply.
System 1 loaded.
1-800-534-8255. What is on your mind when it comes to the government, independence, and the opposition? Issues that matter to you. 1-800-534-8255. Waiting to hear from you. For the record.
This is For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio, so we have open line for you this morning. I spoke earlier about the announcement of the charges being leveled against or brought in the courts against Mr. Bruce Blake and Mr. Canover Watson. And I questioned the timing of that announcement and those charges being laid in regards to the FIFA president visiting the Cayman Islands today. And there was an article in the Caymanian Compass on the 7th of August, and it indicated that regional and global heads of the international game of football will be in Cayman. Gianni Infantino, president of FIFA, and Victor Montagliani, president of CONCACAF, will lead a delegation to visit Cayman and conduct a progress report on the Cayman Islands Football Association. And the article attributes a statement to Alfredo Whitaker, the head of the Cayman Islands Football Association, stating that the delegation will meet with Premier Alden McLaughlin and MLA David White before holding a 10 a.m. press conference at the government administration building. And he's quoted as saying that they're coming to have a review of what we've done in the past year in changing Cayman Islands Football Association and upgrading the national teams and tournaments. Mr. Whitaker is quoted as saying that we've been doing so much to increase participation of national teams of Cayman in the international arena. It's remarkable. The Compass also said that they were told by Mr. Whitaker in March that FIFA was satisfied with the findings of an audit into the Cayman Island Football Association's finances, and that the international body could resume funding the Cayman Islands Football Association in 2019. The funding could be worth as much as $5 million this year, Mr. Whitaker told the Compass in March of this year as well. So, while I may question the timing of this, at the same time, it could have positive effects, positive ramifications as well. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is that Mr. Infantino, the president of FIFA, will get an opportunity to see that we are transparent in what we do here in the Cayman Islands, that we do hold people accountable for their actions, those who occupy positions of trust, that we do hold them accountable, and that when necessary, they will be brought before the courts of the Cayman Islands for any transgressions that they may have committed. So this may be a good thing. And of course, I don't think that the president of FIFA, I don't believe that he's any stranger to controversy, because he has seen it occur at the top echelons of FIFA as well, and what has occurred there. So what has occurred in the Cayman Islands, no different from what has occurred with FIFA in other jurisdictions as well. What we have demonstrated here in the Cayman Islands is that we are prepared to take the necessary action when these things occurred and to bring people to account for their alleged actions. So this could be a plus as well in that regard. I'm going back to the story about the Hurley's Grand Harbor roundabout and what is being proposed there. And I am going to take that and contrast it with an article in the Tradewinds newspaper of the 10th of August, 1967. That would be, 52 years? Yep. That would be 52 years ago. Tomorrow will be 52 years by date. And there's an article in that Tradewinds newspaper entitled The Perfect Solution. And what was the perfect solution about? Where the traffic island is now by the Comart building, the town, the post office, the which one is that? Is that Royal Bank of Canada or Scotia Bank, whichever one that is there? Anyway, that traffic island that is there. What was there in 1967? The article says, someone has at least come up with an economical way for directing traffic in the heart of Georgetown. The concrete divider was in need of repair ever so often because of drivers who did not heed the keep left instruction. So there was a traffic island there, but because drivers didn't heed instructions to keep left, it was damaged on several occasions. The article goes on to say that it was finally completely demolished by the car of His Honor Judge Monteith, and the broken bits were removed. So now, it doesn't say whether or not Judge Monteith was driving the vehicle or whether or not he had a driver. And 1967, I would venture a guess that those days, judges didn't have drivers. They drove themselves. So it seems as if this judge may not have been a good driver himself, His Honor Judge Monteith. And so his car finally demolished the little traffic island that was there that instructed people, and the sign that instructed people to keep left. And the article then goes on to say, and it shows a drum, one of those kerosene, we used to call it a kerosene drum. Those are the drums that kerosene oil would be brought into the island, and it is painted white, and it has stenciled on its side, keep left. And it says, perhaps this drum can take the tossing around and be straightened back up without the work and expense involved with concrete whenever a wayward car keeps right. So here we are in 1967. We used a drum in place of a cement sign that couldn't be kept in position because of the many drivers who hit it. And here we are today, 2019, Hurley's the Grand Harbor roundabout, and we're installing traffic lights there. Cayman, you've come a long way, baby, when it comes to improvements. What we haven't been able to improve, and not limited to Cayman, but other jurisdictions as well, people improving on people's driving habits. They're getting worse and worse rather than getting better. People's bad driving habits, and we have to find a solution to that. While we try to improve on the physical infrastructure, we have to start looking at people's mental capacities, their abilities as well. Not everyone is intended or designed to be behind the wheel of an automobile. So we've come a long way when it comes to the traffic situation in the Cayman Islands, from that to where we are today. Time for us to take a commercial break. When we return, we're going to switch gears. We want to talk a little bit about the whole referendum process. That's still going forward. And want to talk about whether or not we should be concentrating now on what is quite obvious going to be the outcome as far as the signatures are concerned, and start looking towards the next phase, the next step in this process. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Have you ever felt that there is something bigger out there for you? Something more positive, something more powerful, something all good, something bigger than yourself? Do you want to give back to this community? Your community? Together, Rotary Central, Rotary Sunrise, and the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman are hosting a membership meet and greet social Thursday, August 15th at Pepper's Restaurant, 5 to 7 p.m. Come along. Bring a friend. Find out what Rotary is all about, what Rotary is doing in your community. So, see you there, Thursday, August 15th at Pepper's Restaurant, 5 to 7 p.m. We're looking forward to meeting you. Rotary, connecting the world.
Have you seen the latest? Cayman has been ranked the most expensive place to live. It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers. Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511. Email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511. Ropers Janitorial also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511.
Congratulations, it's a boy.
During the greatest events of your life, whether or not you have the right health insurance coverage should be the last thing on your mind. That's why at Fidelity Health, we are committed to helping you get matched with the right plan to suit you and your family. We offer a range of plans to suit your budget, plus access to a network of quality care throughout the Caribbean and the USA. You can relax and enjoy life's greatest moments when you are covered with Fidelity Health. Call us today at 949-7822 for a free quote.
At Logic, we make things better for our customers. It's why we're offering free Boost Wi-Fi. With Boost, you get improved Wi-Fi connectivity everywhere in your home, so there's no more dead zones. The only people we're not making this better for is parents. Because now with seamless Wi-Fi in every room in your home, go to your room isn't really the punishment it used to be. Sorry about that. Sign up now for any Logic bundle package and get free Boost Wi-Fi for a limited time. Visit logic.ky for details.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We want to talk a little bit. We have about 9 minutes before we go to our headline news at 9 o'clock. So not a whole lot of time to talk about it. But there has been much comment in relation to the alleged interference by the government in relation to the port petition and the alleged interference by the governor. And there's an article again in our newspapers, and this one is covered by James Whitaker in the Caymanian Compass. Governor unconcerned over claims of port petition interference. And there's also a letter that was written to the editor by President Roy Bawden in today's Compass as well. Hopefully, I'd like to get to that as well. But I'll first look at the article written by James Whitaker. And he points out that Governor Martin Roper said that he has, quote, unquote, full confidence in the elections office despite concerns that it is allowing people to unverify their signatures for the petition calling for a referendum on the port. Campaigners for a referendum had called on Roper to intervene following a government social media advert saying people who had changed their minds about supporting the referendum could call the elections office and withdraw their support, even after they had filled out forms verifying that they had signed the petition. It goes on to say that Mr. Johan Moxham, one of the campaigners, questioned this claim and suggested the government was interfering in the verification process by encouraging people to withdraw their support. He wrote to the governor asking him to stop it. The article goes on to say that the elections office confirmed Wednesday that it is indeed allowing people to unverify their signatures, though so far only 2 people have done so. And then it goes on to say that Governor Roper issued a statement Thursday expressing full support for election supervisor Wesley Howell and his team, insisting the details of the verification process were a matter for him. He said Howell had issued a statement clarifying the position on withdrawing names, and he supported that decision. He's quoted as saying, Wes and his team continue to do a great job and are making excellent progress. They continue to have my full confidence in the decisions they're taking on the verification process. That's attributed to the governor. We should allow them to complete the process. I am pleased with the efficiency and professionalism of the verification process up to now. I have not seen anything that gives rise to concerns about good governance, fairness, or political interference. It's important that we don't lose sight that this process is being handled efficiently and quickly and is a testament to the strength and vibrancy of our democracy. And the article goes on to say that just over 80% of the signatures have been verified at the last count. Then the article goes on to point out that in a statement on Wednesday evening, Crew's port referendum came on, said it was disappointed at the recent development, but confident it would succeed in forcing a referendum on the issue. And they're quoted as saying, their statement, despite the changes now being introduced during the verification process, CPR remains undeterred in its objectives to exercise the democratic rights afforded to citizens under Section 70 of the Constitution. We are concerned about the process of interference in our democratic right by the acting government. However, we remain confident that the Cayman people will have a fair chance to express their opinion under the confidentiality of the polls when this historic first-time people-initiated referendum takes place. And I will look at the article, the letter to the editor written by Mr. Roy Borden. I know that that he is listener to this show. He follows us quite closely, and if he's certainly listening in, I would welcome him calling in as well and talking, expressing his views and talking about his letter to the editor as well. Now, my comments on this have, in the past and continue to be, number one, that this conversation about the removal of a name from a petition, as far as For the Record is concerned, and on For the Record, it was something that was raised by a caller, and subsequent WhatsApp messages from other listeners as well, pointing out the fact as to why they signed the petition, what their understanding the signing of the petition meant, what they have since been able to garner based on information that has been put out by the government, and asking whether or not they could have their signatures removed at that point in time, and then the answer that was given in that regard. We have noted the absence of legislation in this regard, in regard to referendum and the whole process, and in the absence of that legislation, officials have to basically do things by carefully examining their decisions, seeing how it comports with international best practice and how it ensures that fairness remains in the process. In so doing, they have had to come up in some instances with novel for the Cayman Islands at least, ideas on how to deal with that. Going to headline news at 9 o'clock. When we return, I will continue to talk about the absence of legislation and what is being done as well. Please stay tuned. For the record, we'll be back shortly.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman. Radio Cayman's newsroom. These are the biggest stories right now.
The Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport announces its new digital taxi fare calculator, CI Go. It's now available for download from the App Store and Google Play. The mobile app is a way for visitors to quote their journey in advance. All fares provided by the app are based on the newly introduced National Taxi Fare Schedule, which went into effect on August 2nd. China and the U.S. have traded insults amid fresh demonstrations in Hong Kong. The U.S. on Thursday denounced China as a, quote, thuggish regime after a state newspaper published the name and photo of a U.S. diplomat talking to activists. China had dismissed the attacks as, quote, gangster logic and accused the U.S. of meddling in its affairs. The accusations come as activists gather at Hong Kong International Airport for the first of 3 days of unauthorized protest. U.S. immigration officials say they have temporarily released about 300 people who were arrested in a massive raid in Mississippi on Wednesday. Democrats and rights groups have condemned the arrests as cruel. Nearly 700 workers from 7 agricultural processing plants were arrested for allegedly not having proper documentation to be in the U.S. Pictures emerged of children crying after being separated from their parents. Those are your headlines. I'm Carsley Fuller.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands. What's happening in your community? News and information, music and more. You can find us. www.radiocayman.gov.ky. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Radio Cayman is your choice, your voice for today's biggest news. Radio Cayman.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We have one caller, so we're going to the phone lines. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hi, good morning, O.C.
Morning, how are you?
I'm very well. O.C., I keep hearing this thing about unverifying your signature, unverifying your signature. When I signed the petition, not because not because I don't think we need a cruise port, but there was some number of reasons why I signed it, because I believe that the transparency about the entire process is not there. And I signed that. Those people that were sitting in front of Hurley's the morning I signed that, they didn't hold a gun to my head. They They asked me if I was aware that I could sign the petition here, and I was happy to sign it, and I stand fast by my decision to sign that petition.
So you went to them. They didn't come to you.
But when I got there, they was out there, and basically they were advertising that this is where you can sign for the petition. They didn't come to my house. They were there. I went to them, because if I didn't go to Hurley's that morning, then perhaps I might have bucked up into somewhere else. But if I didn't go to Hurley's, they surely didn't come to my house.
Got you.
So and as I have always said, right? If you're going to do a project, there is going to be a major change. And my major concern when I signed the petition, let me tell you one of the major concerns that I had, O.C., and I still have today. I have been asking, right? I have been asking one question, and one question only, and no one is giving rise to it. What is the study saying of what can possibly happen on the 7 Mile Beach with sand erosion from this giant project being put out in Georgetown Port? That's all.
That's one of the major questions that I have. But everybody is scared to answer it because they know full well that the information that has been received from those people who done the study was not as favorable as they would want the public to know, right? And all I simply say is why are we going to give up billions of dollars, right? Because of greed, and those who seek to benefit from this port expansion in Georgetown? No. That is not right, OC. All the government had to do was to put the cards on the table, lay them out on the table, and the facts is the facts. You know, none can change that. The facts is the facts, right?
Okay. Now, call a question then. Now, how do you believe that having a referendum vote on that will give you that information that you need to get? How will the referendum do that, accomplish that?
Okay, hold on now. What the referendum is going to seek to do is to put a stop to it, right? Okay, so because you ain't telling us the truth, then yeah, we need to stop this thing. We need to stop that, and that's where I stand by my thing. Unverify your signature? How in God's creation do you unverify your signature?
I think the terminology that they're using there, I wouldn't use that. It's your ability to withdraw your signature from a petition if the petition is still if the petition is still active, is still out there. Because you have to bear in mind, and you have to acknowledge that the people for a referendum also have the ability, and they continue to amass signatures and turn them into the supervisor of elections as well.
Well, that it needs to, at some point it needs to stop,
right?
Because you just can't. There's got to be a deadline to everything. Okay.
Yep.
There's got to be a deadline to everything.
I agree.
So at some point in time, you got to stop now and say, okay, well, we've reached this. There's a deadline, and this is where I believe that the elections office may have failed. They should have said, okay, this is the deadline, or some office, whichever office is responsible. Okay, people, for referendum, the deadline is the 1st of August. And after that, you can come in with 1 million signatures and they will not be on it.
Yeah, because I note now, caller, that I believe I saw somewhere where something like a 30-day notification process would have to come, or notification would have to come from the elections office to the petitioners to say this. This is when it, you're to close off. Now, when I look at that 30 days, I see that to be extremely generous, because if you were to say be following dates that are set in the elections law for different processes to take place, the average time frame for anything is usually 21 days. So we're given 30 or 31 days for that. But the average time frame for things to take place in the election law is usually 21 days, sometimes even 14 days.
Exactly. So it needs to come to a halt, because then, it's going to be back and forth. Yeah. Otherwise, they've got the signatures now. And as far as I can see from reading the newspaper, I believe that it is going to be sufficient to trigger a referendum.
I believe that is my belief as well. That is my belief.
So yeah, but yeah, I think, you see, similar thing happened with regards to what should have been a properly organized and well, I guess. I'm losing my train of thought there. But with regards to the proper landfill that the DART consortium was going to put in Bordentown, right? If the UDP had gone door to door and explained to the people, listen, this is going to be a proper facility. Take some of the people, right? And take them to Florida. I've been to Florida where there's a proper plant, right? And restaurants right nearby to show you how well it was properly maintained. If they had went and done proper publicity go and educate the people, then the objection that they got, they may not have got it. And the same with the port. If they had come and came with the right information and explained to the people, well, yeah, there is a possibility we may lose 7 Mile Beach. There's a possibility this. There's all possibilities. But don't come and tell us that you just want and you want a port because it's a novelty now and you got to get for these mega class ships.
Mm-hmm. So, caller, you're not satisfied now with the explanations that the government has given since the selection of a preferred bidder, and they claim that there's certain information that they couldn't put out before that they have now put it out there. You're still not satisfied with what they're saying?
No, because my fear is that 7 Mile Beach.
Mm-hmm.
That is what has made this country.
Mm-hmm.
The 7 Mile Beach is what has made this country. And if we lose it, if we lose that, we're going to lose hundreds or thousands of investors for what?
Yeah.
For greed in Georgetown? Mm-hmm. No, that's not right. Nobody can tell me that's right. And I stand. I stand by my decision to sign. And I quickly went and confirmed that that was my signature.
Yes.
Oh,
okay. Yeah. Caller, I want to thank you very much for that.
You.
We have a few more callers that we want to accommodate as well. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, OC.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm here, and thank God, highly blessed. I have a what you call it? I have a comment,
mm-hmm.
and I want you to allow me a minute or two.
Sure, go right ahead.
To give for the FC International their free football camp that is coming up on Monday,
mm-hmm.
the 12th of August to the 16th, for all the boys and girls age 4 to 16. And this is a free camp. You and I know that the FC International has been doing this for over 25 years.
Yes.
To God be the glory for all the people that bless them with donations and all their support, including the government.
Mm-hmm.
It's at the Georgetown Primary School football field, a.k.a. the Annex. Yes, and the time is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So, all of the kids will receive free lunch and a free T-shirt. And we are asking the mothers out there to get their kids all geared up and ready to attend this camp. It's usually attended very well every year. And we thank, like I say, they want to thank all of the people for making it a success every year. This week is, like I said, next week is at the Annex,
mm-hmm.
and then the following week is at the North Side Primary School field, which is the 18th to the 23rd. That is for the camps that are coming up, the free camp, like I said, age 4 to 16. My comment now, quickly, is that if the government is allowing people to withdraw their what
signature,
you call it,
yeah, mm-hmm.
their signature, will they be allowing people to add signatures?
Yeah, yes, that process is. There people can still sign the petition. Yes,
they can still sign.
Mm-hmm.
They will have to go to the election office to sign it?
No, I believe that the people who are involved with the referendum, I think they call CPR or something like that. Yeah, they're still out there. I think they're going to have a booth established at Hurley's. I'm not sure what days of the week it is, but if anyone is listening and they want to give that information out, and we want to be as balanced as possible here on For the Record. So if someone knows the dates and times that they will be there, but that process is still being allowed. Yes.
Well, I would ask someone, if you all are listening, someone to call in and give that information. We would really appreciate that, because I know I have it is several people that has questioned me and would want to sign it.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I have this morning.
So for those persons who are interested, who want to their children to attend these camps, what do they do?
Just 1 second for me, sir. Just a second. Yeah, all they have to do, OC, is turn up at the field Monday, August the 12th at the Annex, and the one for Northside is Monday the 19th. Okay. That's all they have to do is the parents drop them off and make sure it's 9 till 1 p.m.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that, caller.
You're very welcome.
Okay, Paul, we have another caller on hold still. Do we want to take? We have to take a commercial break. Caller, hang in there. Quick commercial break. We will take the call first before we go to a break. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Yes, Mr. O'Connor. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Okay. I'd just like to make a comment.
Sure.
Yes, one time I was by Burger King for lunch, the one by the seaside in Georgetown.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a man there eating food inside Burger King there, and he was off the cruise ship. And I remember him saying, look at this view, man. Look how beautiful that water is. This has to be the best Burger King in the world. So when we're deciding about dredging, I think that will have a serious effect on all that man was describing.
And caller, you don't think that there are mitigation efforts that can be taken to, if not eliminate it, to reduce it to a minimum? Any damage? You don't think that is possible?
That is impossible, Mr. Orrett Connor, because of weather and because of current and because of facts known what happens when you dredge. So that is impossible.
So when the current dock that is there was being built and dredging took place, did we recover from that?
Well, this one is more major. This is a bigger project, and they're putting down what do you call it again?
Pilings.
Pilings. They're putting down pilings, which means more holes they're going to be digging, and those holes are going to be very, very deep. So I see it totally impossible of not having some negative effect in that area when it comes to dredging.
Yeah. I think everyone admits that there will be some effect. The question is, how much and whether or not it can be minimized. We've been told, for instance, that with the silt screens and stuff like they have, if there's any evidence of any of that straying, that the work will stop instantaneously at that point to rectify the situation as well. My point is that, and I acknowledge what you say, that this is going to be on a much larger scale, but it is something that we have done before. In the 1960s, there were apprehensions about building a dock then. When the Royal Waterloo Cruise Terminal was built, there were apprehensions about that as well. We survived, we're still thriving, and we still have our dive sites out there. If proper care is taken and precautions taken, I don't see why we cannot minimize the impact as well.
Well, Mr. Orrett Connor, that was a cruise ship passenger that was saying that. Remember that now? That was a cruise ship passenger saying that. So if you all destroy that beautiful ocean out there, and it's all mucked up, and people can't snorkel, well, I'll tell you one thing. It's going to be some serious regrets. Yeah. And I'm not going to be one of those who are going to regret it because I'm not encouraging it.
The cruise ship passenger caller would be secondary when it comes to my concerns in relation to it. My concern is the Cayman Islands and the environment in itself. Never mind what the cruise ship passenger thinks. Whatever we do in the Cayman Islands, we have to do it for ourselves, not for necessarily, while we do rely on cruise tourism and tourism in general, that has to be secondary to because we're the ones who have to occupy this little place that we call home. This is where we have to live, and many of us want to die here as well. Although a lot of people don't want to die at all. They want to go to heaven, but they don't want to die. But acknowledging the fact that we live here and we're going to die here, my concern more is, as a Caymanian, not so much what the cruise, the tourist feels, because despite the fact that we do rely on them, if they don't come to the islands, I still have to survive. We still have to survive. Caller, I want to thank you very much for that. Any more callers at this point in time, Paul? Okay, I have an opportunity to read a letter written to the editor, dated this one is the 8th of August, 2019. And it's entitled Call to Retract Signatures Disingenuous. We're going to take a commercial break. When we return, I will read that letter for you. Please stay tuned.
It was a day that changed my life. No words can describe the feelings of seeing my baby boy sick for the first time. The overwhelming feeling of fear to be responsible for his health and happiness became my priority. So I did what any nurturing mother would do when their baby is sick. I took him to get some of the best medicine possible.
CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy understands the importance of careful decisions you make every day for your family. Our staff work towards healthcare excellence and providing the most current and up-to-date training with pharmaceutical care, so you can feel confident in knowing that your family is safe with the right medication. At CTMH Doctors Hospital Pharmacy, we take care of your health.
Have you ever felt that there is something bigger out there for you? Something more positive, something more powerful, something all good, something bigger than yourself? Do you want to give back to this community, your community? Together, Rotary Central, Rotary Sunrise, and the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman are hosting a membership meet and greet social Thursday, August 15th at Pepper's Restaurant, 5 to 7 p.m. Come along. Bring a friend. Find out what Rotary is all about, what Rotary is doing in your community. So, see you there, Thursday, August 15th at Pepper's Restaurant, 5 to 7 p.m. We're looking forward to meeting you. Rotary, connecting the world.
Have you seen the latest? Cayman has been ranked the most expensive place to live. It's time to buy smart. It's time to buy Ropers. Find everything for your home and kitchen at low prices at Ropers. Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511. Email janitorial@ropers.ky. Clean up your spending with Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511. Ropers Janitorial also offers complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time. Ropers Janitorial, 949-2511.
Gym tonight?
I have another test today.
Wow, for somebody who isn't in school, you've had a lot of tests this week.
Well, Vamp Motors is giving out fresh baked cookies to customers who test drive SUVs this month. And since I haven't decided what to buy, I'm just test driving each one to see what I like best.
You better test drive that to the gym and back, especially with all those free cookies you're getting from Vamp.
Take a test drive for a sweet surprise this August at Vamp Motors. Test drive any SUV and receive a freshly baked cookie. It's our way of saying thanks for dropping by to check out our huge sale on every SUV in stock. Save up to $4,400 during Vamp's summer SUV sale. Now through the end of August. That's every SUV in stock on sale. Save up to $4,400 or put the savings towards upgrading your vehicle. Sweeten the deal with Vamp Motors, Walkers Road.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system.
For information that matter. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio, so we have an open line for you. We have 3 callers on hold, so I'm asking each caller to be cognizant of the fact that someone is behind you waiting to get on air as well. And while I may have been generous earlier in the show in terms of allowing people to talk, that was because there were not many calls at that point in time. Now that we have calls queued up, we're going to ask you to be as judicious with your time as you possibly can be. First caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing, Rambo?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. I'm a water break, man. Mr. OC, for the
the port development now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I really agree with it now. You see the cargo facility, right? The goods that we import, they got skyrocketing in prices. So when that bill now, obviously, the price be stabilized, right? Because the merchandise, they have to mark up the profit, 20% or whatever. So that common sense and logical sense. With a dog, yes, that's my perspective. One more thing, final, Mr. O.C. My uncle, I was calling, right? I endorsed me fully with it, right? Coincidentally, yesterday, Bernie Sanders, right? The president candidate, right? He will endorse legalizing of marijuana in the U.S. continent, the whole entire there. You understand? You know, obviously facing Donald Trump, a high roller, right? But that's his mandate. So now showing you we in contemporary times, you gotta wake up, smell the coffee. He came out, that fella got in about the rest. He's some family been related to me, right? Distant family. Right?
Okay.
Right? And that is a point still, but listen, we contemporary times, you gotta modernize yourself, develop yourself, look at all the revenue stream. You understand? It's cultivating, right? Food crops, that too.
Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
Right? Everything, the whole 9 yards. We gotta look for ourselves, right? Listen, it's a hard live now. We gotta be careful now. We gotta pray for rain now. So that the Cape Man Trench can be cool. All that attract hurricane now. We need a hurricane belt now. So we all things we'll look at, prepare for ourselves. It's long term.
Yep.
Right? Naturally, economically, and everything. So have a good weekend.
Thank you, caller. You do as well, and you always have some very, very good points that you espouse as well. We want to thank you, for always sharing your opinion with us. Next caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning, Mr. O.C.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Oh, pretty good for an old man, Now, I won't be long. There's a few suggestions or observations I've made. I wanted to get your intake on it. Right? One, then Mr. Hart was talking that I did not hear them say that the dive sites in the harbor and some Sunset House right down would not be affected during the dredging, which I think was about 3 years. And I wonder what you take on that.
I think they spoke briefly about the precautionary measures that would be taken to decrease the silt. I think there was also pointed out that to the south of the dock now that area would not be touched at all. So all where Paradise Restaurant. Is that where what they call some hamburger reef or something like that? Those areas there, no dredging will be done on that side. Not to say that silt won't be there, but I think they did explain that, and they did also talk about the removal of coral and relocating it elsewhere also.
Yeah, and I mean it's okay to say they not got trouble south of the dock, but when the wind shifts around, the current shifts around, that silt is still going to flow.
And the currents are normally going in that direction, huh?
Yeah, and in the meantime, I don't think if there's even a little bit of silt, people are not going to be diving in those sites. Right? And no one seems to be taking too much interest in this vast increase in congestion and traffic between Georgetown and the 7 Mile Beach area. Because then you got...
But isn't that going to be done in tandem with the revitalization program for Georgetown and everything else and rerouting of traffic?
Yeah, and so see when you got a lot of people going in for lunch and all that, and all these buses up and down there, I don't know how you can make a few roads or start transporting them by sea. Understand Mr. Dodd already has something arranged where he can transport the people down to the beach by some tenders or something.
Water taxes. Get water taxes. Yeah.
Water taxes. Another thing is, I like to go to professionals, hear the opinion of professionals. And I have a lot of respect and belief in the master mariners. And they suggested South Sound. Now, the only reason I heard Aussie the other day was that it's a lot more dredging. but we wanted the cost of the dredging offset against the cost of destroying all those died sites in Georgetown. And
very quickly, caller. Remember, we have another one behind you.
Yeah. Okay. I love my cousin. Let's mention those two things again now.
Okay.
I think that's the best place.
Okay. Thank you very much, caller.
Thank
you very much, caller, for that. We have another commercial break to come up to, so we still have that caller on hold. Please stay tuned, caller. As soon as we return from the commercial break, we will take your call.
Often ask us questions about their shipments.
I have various items coming from different suppliers that I need to ship to Cayman. Do you offer consolidation?
Yes. Seaboard Marine offers consolidation for full and less than container loads. We can hold your packages at our Miami warehouse until everything arrives and ship it all in one go. And we have the best rates to Grand Cayman. Visit seaboardmarine.com for more information.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Sometimes having a middleman is not a bad thing, especially when it comes to insurance. Do you know that when it comes to cost, ease, speed, and peace of mind, insurance brokers ranked higher than when customers buy direct? So, for all your insurance needs, call Fidelity Insurance. We're the middleman you want. Call us today at 949-7822. Fidelity. We're good for you.
Hi there, it's contestant number 4 for the Miss Cayman Islands Universe 2019, Alika Backford, representing Bodden Town. I have a soft spot for youth, and that's why I'm so excited to have the Alex Panther Foundation for this year's platform. Currently, I'm a student pursuing my bachelor's in management study. I love capturing the right moment with my Nikon D70, and I'm a dog whisperer for my dog Night. It's an honor to be the face of Airport Professional Services and Bella's Beauty and Barber Studio. Secretly, I have a love for the underwater world, and I hope one day to be a certified diver. It's a magical affair on August the 17th at Ritz-Carlton. Be there and be amazed.
Hi, I'm Dawn McLean Brady, President of the Cayman Islands Small Business Association, better known as CISPA. Small businesses drive Cayman's economy. As small business owners, we depend on government to create an environment where we, as entrepreneurs, can do what we do best, and that's to provide products and services that are valuable to our customers and, in turn, employ others. The cruise piers and cargo ports provide these opportunities. Encourage our government to build a port and let the Caymanian entrepreneurial spirit shine. Support the port, support our tourism.
For the record, with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the record, with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. No guests in the studio. I have received some information from about the CPR and where they will be. Locations that they will be at. I will share that with you as soon as we take the caller who's been on hold. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning to you, Mr. O.C.
Morning, sir. How are you?
Just fine, thank you. Be brief or judicious, as you said. I won't try to run my vehicle over pavement curb like that. That's what judicious is. Anyway, I just like to say, my condolences to all who have lost loved ones and to the family. Doing very well.
Mm-hmm. You're drifting out and in, caller, for some reason.
For Governor, can you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit better now. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes, sir.
Governor Long, whom I'm well acquainted with for over 48 years now.
Uh-huh.
And that's I'll talk about that some other time. But I just like to say, I thought it would have been a cut-off time. Mm-hmm. An interesting cause, very interesting. Cut-off time for the referendum to be accepted by the elections office, Mr. Howell. I thought that the day that they received and signed for it would be the cut-off period. Mm-hmm. That's it, done, finished. No more could be accepted after that. But it seems that if the signatures can still be coming in, is that correct?
That's correct, sir. Yes, sir.
But I can't understand that because the
caller we lost the caller. Until that call resumes, I've been informed. It says, "Hi, Mr. OC. CPR Cayman will be at Hell Esso in West Bay this evening from 4 to 8 p.m. So the CPR people will be Hell Esso in West Bay this evening from 4 to 8 p.m. For anyone wishing to sign the petition or who would like more information, they can be there. Now, if you have any more information in relation to Georgetown or any other district, please share that. Pass that on to me, and I will share that with our audience as well. Has the call resumed? We lost that call. Okay, I want to share with you now Mr. Roy Borden's letter to the editor, and this is in the Compass. It's dated 8th of August, 2019. Mr. Borden writes, "If proof was needed that the political directorate with its warped agenda is taking the Cayman Islands from the sublime to the ridiculous, then search no more, for alas, the evidence is here. For according to Thursday's Cayman Compass page 1 story, government claims port petitioners can unverify signatures to encourage signatories who, of their free will, signed and further verified their signatures, now to retract those signatures smacks of disingenuousness, duplicity, and desperation," Mr. Borden writes. "Such a suggestion disregards the democratic process, takes no cognizance of the individual's right to his or her unfettered opinion, and is more symptomatic of a banana republic or a one-party state than it is to a vibrant and some would say thriving parliamentary democracy. It is clear that the stakes are too big for public opinion to be allowed to disrupt the agenda of the proposed Newport development. The questions that beg answers are: whose interest is being served by railroading this development down the throats of Caymanians? Is this part of a larger and more sinister plan to turn the jurisdiction into a 21st century Sodom and Gomorrah? And, as always, for whom are we developing? Has the political directorate stopped to consider that such behavior creates an unwarranted precedent, one which conceivably could come back to haunt Caymanians? But even more frightening, what does such behavior say about the honesty and trustworthiness of us as a people if, after we have given our word, we can so callously and nonchalantly retract our recorded position? The current development agenda of the Cayman Islands seems to be motivated more by greed than it is by any sense of what is decent, fair, and sustainable, and to the benefit of the majority. When officialdom behaves idiotically, our collective voices should be heard. But how can our voice be heard when in its arrogance, the political directorate spits in our faces and treats us with disdain and contempt? This behavior, motivated by greed, is more representative of the routine than it is an aberration. There is one consolation, however, and that is that greed, being one of the 7 deadly sins, will not go unpunished. What a pity that the innocent in this case will have to suffer for those who brought ruin to our environment and made us slaves to our debtors. Signed, J.A. Roy Borden. So Mr. Borden has voiced his opinion in this regard, in relation to this. Now, I want to talk about the absence of legislation. We have no one to blame for that but our politicians. All of our politicians. The opposition will tell you, well, we can only do so much. We can bring private members' motions. You heard Dr. Steve Macfield talk about bringing private bills to the Legislative Assembly as well. Opposition will tell you that they in fact do not have the numbers, and that is why they are in opposition as opposed to be in the government. But the mere lack of legislation has to be blamed on our politicians in that regard. There are so many questions to be asked and issues to be dealt with when it comes to this whole referendum process, and glaringly shows the need for legislation to be in place. You have heard people talk about the government having an advantage because they're able to go to the airways, because they're able to run adverts, in relation to supporting the port. When the whole referendum, when the question is being debated, we have to have legislation in place that talks about financing. People shouldn't have the ability to be able to amass as much money as they want to be able to support their cause, be it the government or be it those in opposition of it. Legislation must address that issue. Legislation should be able to address the issue of the question on a referendum, whether or not it should be a multiple question referendum, which sometimes proves to be much more difficult, much more complicated, or whether or not it should be a single question. Legislation should be in place in relation to whether or not the question is leading, whether or not the question is phrased in such a way that it gives an advantage to one party over another party. When I say party, I'm not talking about political parties. I'm talking about one group, or I should use the word group then if that's what I mean, one group over another group as well. Many, many questions to be dealt with in relation to this referendum, and we have no legislation that covers it. So, what do you think that the supervisor of elections has to do when he's faced with these issues? He has to look, they have to consider, probably take legal advice as well. How best should we handle this to avoid being judicially reviewed for the actions, the administrative actions that we are taking? Should we allow the petitions to continue to come in after the required number of signatures have been amassed, or even more than has been required? Should we allow that? Should we allow people to withdraw their signatures? Certainly, if we accept the fact that the signatures and the petition had been finalized, handed over to the governor's office, copies presented to the supervisor of elections, copies presented to the cabinet as well, and as if we were to consider that as being the final step, then no questions could be raised in relation to additional signatures being collected. No question could be made about withdrawing your signature from the petition. It would be where it is, and you would then have to make your decision at the end of the day. If the petition is successful, when the referendum comes around and it's time to get out there and vote, you either get out there and vote yes, you vote no, or you don't vote at all. But all of these questions, these serious questions that are being raised, are there because of the lack of legislation. Blame that on your legislators. Paul, I see you signaling there. One caller. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record. Good morning, caller. Good morning, caller. No one. Let's take a commercial break, Paul. Last commercial break for the morning, folks. Please stay tuned for the record. We'll be back shortly.
Gym tonight?
I have another test today.
Wow, for somebody who isn't in school, you've had a lot of tests this week.
Well, Vamp Motors is giving out fresh baked cookies to customers who test drive SUVs this month. And since I haven't decided what to buy, I'm just test driving each one to see what I like best.
You better test drive that to the gym and back, especially with all those free cookies you're getting from Vamp.
Take a test drive for a sweet surprise this August at Vamp Motors. Test drive any SUV and receive a freshly baked cookie. It's our way of saying thanks for dropping by to check out our huge sale on every SUV in stock. Save up to $4,400 during Vamp's summer SUV sale. Now through the end of August. That's every SUV in stock on sale. Save up to $4,400 or put the savings towards upgrading your vehicle. Sweeten the deal with Vamp Motors, Walkers Road.
At Seaboard Marine, customers often ask us questions about their shipments.
Hi, I'm thinking of buying a car from the States. Which port do you ship out of?
Hi, we ship out of Miami, Houston, and Brooklyn. Just let us know your port of choice and we can provide you with a quotation and answer any questions you may have on insuring and protecting your vehicle during its journey.
Shipping shore to shore, Seaboard.
Have you ever felt that there is something bigger out there for you? Something more positive, something more powerful, something all good, something bigger than yourself? Do you want to give back to this community? Your community? Together, Rotary Central, Rotary Sunrise, and the Rotary Club of Grand Cayman are hosting a membership meet and greet social Thursday, August 15th at Pepper's Restaurant, 5 to 7 p.m. Come along. Bring a friend. Find out what Rotary is all about, what Rotary is doing in your community. So, see you there, Thursday, August 15th at Pepper's Restaurant, 5 to 7 p.m. We're looking forward to meeting you. Rotary, connecting the world.
The Miss Cayman Islands Universe Committee is inviting you to our pageant on 17th August, 7 p.m. at the Ritz-Carlton. The committee continues to empower young Caymanian ladies to become role models in the community. So come out and see our 6 beautiful contestants vie for the title of Miss Cayman Islands Universe. The winner will represent us at the Miss Universe pageant. Get your tickets today at Funky Tangs and Sand Angels.
For the Record with Orrett Connor.
Initiating system. For information that matters. For the Record with Orrett Connor. Continues right now on Radio Cayman.
Good morning and welcome back to For the Record. We're in the last leg of the show this morning. I believe we do have a caller with us. Caller, good morning. Welcome to For the Record.
Good morning again, Josie.
Good morning again, sir.
Just a quick observation.
Okay.
I think between Mayor Street and Paradise Restaurant, all those duty-free stores and all that, I would like to know the exact figures, but it seemed like about 80% of them are between Dart and the Cockernals. And with the mention of water taxis that will be taking people from the dock to the beach, any idea how many water taxis are they going to be allowed to apply up and down 7 Mile Beach?
I only mentioned the fact that the water taxes could be used. I wasn't suggesting that was what was being contemplated.
I heard that before.
Okay. No. We will have to treat that as a rhetorical question because I don't know the answer. Yeah.
Well, I hope it's not too much because the poor bus drivers, between all the big tour buses are already pre-booked, and all those in water taxis.
Yeah, but not everyone will necessarily want to go to the to the beach. Others, will want to go elsewhere. I'm sure.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry for the poor taxi drivers and Caymanians in general.
Okay.
Thank you, Ms. Ozzie.
Thank you very much. What we're going to do now is we're going to close off the phone lines because I want to concentrate a little bit about this lack of legislation. I've been doing some research over the past few days in relation to the framing of the referendum question, and I found something on the UK Parliament's website where a commission was established and they were seeking answers from experts in relation to how certain things should be addressed. Certainly don't have enough time to deal with that this morning, but want to remind you that when it comes to a referendum, there are two sections in our Constitution, Cayman Islands Constitution Order 2009. Section 69 in relation to power to provide for a referendum. And it says that a law enacted by the legislature may make provisions to hold a referendum amongst persons registered as electors in accordance with Section 90 on a matter or matters of national importance, right? When so resolved by the majority of the elected members of the Assembly. But the question of whether the Cayman Islands should seek any amendment to this Constitution that may result in their independence shall be deemed to be a matter of national importance. So what this is saying is whatever else you may decide whether or not it is a question of national importance, you can decide that. But when it comes to whether or not the Cayman Islands should seek an amendment to the Constitution that may result in independence, that definitely is a matter of national importance. So there's a carve-out for the question of independence in the Cayman Islands. Okay? Number 2, people-initiated referendum, Section 70. It says, without prejudice to the Section 69, a law enacted by the legislature shall make provisions to hold a referendum amongst persons registered as electors in accordance with Section 90 on a matter or matters of national importance that do not contravene any part of the Bill of Rights or any other part of this Constitution. And it then goes on to set the stage in terms of before a referendum under this section may be held, there shall be presented to the Cabinet a petition signed by not less than 25% of the persons registered as electors in accordance with Section 90. Let's take you through that stage. That was done. That was accomplished. What transpired from that was Cabinet said, we want the signatures to be verified. We want to know that the signatures and the names that appear on here are those of the person for whom it indicates that it is for. So we want a verification process. So that is where we're at now. Then it goes on to say that the Cabinet shall settle the wording of a referendum question or questions within a reasonable time period as prescribed by law. By which law? There is no law. So we have to create a referendum law, because what we have done is that we have created a referendum law for each particular referendum that takes place. We do not have a standing referendum law. So before the question can be put, we have to have a referendum law. And then C, the Cabinet shall make a determination on the date the referendum shall be held in a matter prescribed by law. Again, we have to put it in the law. And then it goes on to say that subject to this Constitution, a referendum under this section shall be binding on the government and the legislature if assented to by more than 50% of persons registered as electors in accordance with Section 90. I want to make sure that you understand that also, right? And I will read it again. Subject to this Constitution, a referendum under this section shall be binding on the government and the legislature if assented to by more than 50% of persons registered as electors in accordance with Section 90. So it has to be 50% plus 1 of persons registered, not persons going out there and voting. So you could have a possible scenario where if the question is posed for a yes, we want the port, no, we don't want the port, if it is put as a binary question, yes or no, and the no, let's say, were to get 54% of the persons voting, and the yes only got 46%, that 54% has to be of, well, I won't put it that way. If that 54% does not represent 50% plus one of the registered voters, then the referendum fails. So not only does it have to do with those who get out there to vote, but more importantly, that it must exceed 50% of the persons who are registered to vote. Now, the other question is, because remember what I said, there is no legislation in place for this. So one of the other questions is, if the registration process for electors is still in place, again, the supervisor of elections, the elections office, must use international best practice to determine what numbers they're dealing with. Are you dealing with the numbers on the last official register of electors for that quarter, or are you dealing with something else? Again, what I'm demonstrating to you is the need to have a cutoff date, a firm cutoff date. Now, many people have expressed, or some people, I shouldn't say many, some people have expressed the fact that their expectation would be that once the petition has been submitted to the governor and submitted to cabinet, that based on the numbers on the register of electors on that date of that submission is the number that we go by. But we have seen people's ability to remove their signatures from the petition, people's ability to add their names to the petition after it has been submitted. We have seen people have the ability to do those two things. So what happens if someone raises the question, how do you come about using the register of electors that was compiled for the last quarter as opposed to one that may have been compiled since then? We know that people are always being registered as British Overseas Territories citizen, and despite the fact that now you're not required to be a British Overseas Territories citizen to be registered, but you definitely have to possess Caymanian status. People are constantly obtaining Caymanian status. One of the things that they do, of course, when they become British Overseas Territories citizens, the first thing they do is they look about applying for a passport. When you acquire Caymanian status, one of the first things you do, how do I go and register to vote? As well. So how many people have done that since this whole process? Again, I'm saying all of that to highlight the fact that the lack of legislation is one of the things that has been hampering us with this. And there are more and more issues arising in the Cayman Islands that will cause people's initiated referendum to be started. And we need to ensure that this legislation is in place. We haven't heard the last of it. This is only the beginning. More and more to come. People are going to be talking, about these iconic buildings that are being built. All sorts of things people are going to be questioning these days. We have to have a referendum law in place. Folks, I want to thank you for allowing Radio Cayman and by extension For the Record into your homes, into your vehicles as you traverse the busy roads of the Cayman Islands, into your places of work, whether it be in an office cubicle or if you're working in the outdoors. I also want to remind you that we are our brothers and our sisters' keepers. There is always someone out there who's less fortunate than we are, and I ask you to extend a helping hand to them. If you can't do that, then I suggest you donate to a worthy charity, because we always want to consider those who need, not necessarily those who want or even those who crave. I say to you, have a great day. Continue to support your radio station, Radio Cayman. Join Sterling Dwayne Banks at 12:15 for Talk today. And as usual, we ask the good Lord to bless these three beautiful, wonderful Cayman Islands.
For the Record is brought to you by Vamped Motors, the only authorized Ford and Toyota dealership serving the Cayman Islands. Cayman Pharmacy Group, with a location in West Bay and professional pharmacy at CTMH Doctors Hospital. The Cayman Pharmacy Group has a location for you just around the corner. Seaboard Marine, with over 35 shipping ports, find your shipping solution by calling 949-4977 or visit seaboardmarine.com for competitive rates. Rotary Central, for more than 110 years, Rotary members have used their passion, energy, and intelligence to take action on sustainable projects. Fidelity Bank, for all your banking needs, visit fidelitygroup.com. Fidelity, we're good for you. And Roper's Janitorial, complete janitorial service for commercial, industrial, and residential. They get the job done right every time.